Here we go. Man, we got to kick some scammers out of this group. All right, are we live? We're live. All right, let's get live on all these other ones. Live on the Tick of the Talk. Live on IG. Let's see here real quick. Invite Tristan into here. He has a new one. Oh, we got one person in here. We got some more late night deals. Let's see how we can get this thing going. All right, this was a deal that was sent to us by good old Tristan. I think I told him an hour later than what it is right now, so we might not even get him. But here's the deal.
Please leave your...
Our purchase price. Our purchase price is $425K. Area, class A. What have we got in here? I'm in here preaching to 3 people. Hell yeah. Leave me a comment if you're in here doing late night deals. Oops. He's coming. Hop on IG for me real quick.
Let's see. All right, I'm on it.
All right. A live video ended. Let's go live again real quick. Okay, sweet, bro. We're live.
Let me see if I can pull this with this dude.
Invite. All right, I sent you the invite.
I bet.
Let me know when you get it. Let's see if this will work. These lives are crazy. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me. We got 4 people in here. Again, leave a chat if you're in here. Let me know where you're from, what you're doing. I can't see who you are. There we go, Tristan. All right, Brody. I'm going to need you to talk to me.
Stratt.
Can you hear me?
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, 1 sec. Let me grab my headphones.
Gotta have my late night tea going. Got my TikTok people going. How many people we got on TikTok? Ooh, we got 6 people on TikTok. We popping. So, this deal, we'll start over, is, in my opinion, Class A. Our purchase price, $425. Can you hear me, Tristan? Can you hear me, Tristan? Hello.
Hear me now?
Yep. Can you hear me? Tristan.
Hear me? Cool. I don't think I can hear you though, brother.
You can't hear anything? Hello. Hello.
still can't hear you, dog.
Can you hear me now? I guess I might leave and come back in. I can hear you. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to leave and come back in. There we go. We may just be screwed. What's going on? Who is this? Valencia? Jay Myler? Thank you guys so much for joining Late Night Deals. We're waiting on Tristan real quick. He couldn't hear me. I could hear him. Oh, there's Tristan right there. How do I add him in? Anybody know how to add people into your lives? Late night stream, Caleb, you know it, bro. We're trying to get these technical difficulties filtered out. All right, Tristan, if you're on here again, I think the last thing you can do is request to join. There we go. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, dog, I can hear you, my bad.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'm going to place the camera back here a little bit, and we'll be good to go.
Cool. And real quick, Stratt, how I got this lead, dog, was through an agent.
Hey.
Yep, through an agent. I talked to him probably like in September. Yeah, September, ending of September is when I talked to him.
So,
just hit me back right here.
All right, let me see here. We'll go. All right, so let's break down this whole thing. Can you hear me, Tristan?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right, so lead source, agent, class. It's an A class, right? Like it's a really nice property.
Yeah, this is all brand new for 2021. Yeah, and I know you're familiar with these parts of the woods, Stratt out here in Salt Lake. So it's in Lehigh, and that whole like new on that side of the freeway, like all brand new stuff, right?
Is it by my house?
I think it's like literally right behind it, just like on that other side.
Really?
Of it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where they're building that hospital.
All right. So let's go over. Tell us about what the agent, how they brought it to you, what the motivation is.
Well, I actually reached out to the agent. So I reached out to the agent like back in September, just through Redfin as far as the list, as far as the DOBs, like days on market, and finance option. At the time, it was currently under contract. Support like with the time that we were just talking initially, and then just left it at that. And then today, fast forward to today, he just texted me saying that the deal fell through, and that he was looking for, opening up the books with me again, or just at least talking about it.
All right. What's the motivation?
Separation. So, long story short, the husband and wife are getting a divorce, and they bought the home in 2021 together.
And so they don't have any equity in the deal, correct?
About 40 is what he's saying. The agent's saying.
So they have about 40 grand in equity.
Mm-hmm. And they also sent me an appraisal letter because they were like, I guess the couple was thinking about if not selling it or renting it, like just pulling out a HELOC. So then they also got it appraised for like $498 through the bank recently.
How recently?
Let's see.
If it wasn't within a month, in my personal opinion, especially in Salt Lake, bro, that shit's on fire. So the appraisal doesn't matter. Like, shit's still going down out there. And you can tell them that, and then they could try and rebuttal, but we all know the truth. You know what I'm saying?
You still with me, Shane?
Yep.
So that was back in August.
Yeah, that don't count for shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I thought that said September, but that was back in August.
We could probably say ARV is 425, just to be safe.
Mm.
I have friends out there who are losing $500,000 right now, like as we speak, on flips. And they were doing great in August, right? So we know it's not that good of a appraisal. So we can say our purchase price overall is 425, ARV is 425. They have, so if we go equity, they have 40K.
Yeah, 40K roughly.
Well, they thought they had 40K. In all reality,
Right. Thought, yeah, thought. Yeah.
All right, so that was in August, and so because they're probably going off that 490K, so they probably have zero equity, honestly, because they're probably going off of that 495.
Mm.
So I mean, do you know what their loan balance is?
I remember, I think it was like 330. 330 or 330, 340.
Okay, so no,
Say 340. Yeah, no, yeah, they have equity. Yeah, I know they have equity in it. Another thing too, I found out is they're in an HOA, which is kind of shitty. Yeah, I was like, damn.
Is it a no short-term rentals too?
That's why I asked, but the rent, it seems to be like the agent only would be talking to me because he knows my intent is to rent it out. So that it sounds like the rentals are approved in this HOA.
Okay.
From the sounds of it, but I gotta, make sure.
So how much do they want down?
So initially, when I first talked to him in September, like the end of September, he wanted 75, and I was like, "Whoa, all right, man. Like, if anything, we'll just see how this thing rides out." Fast forward to today, I chatted with him earlier today. We talked about 50, at least 50. But I know I can probably get it down a little bit more, based off his timeline.
When do they want to close?
Like as soon as possible. It sounds like it's a situation where he's just trying to get out of it, where they can just make their split ways. The thing is that the story they're running with is they both need $25K each. Bottom line.
and they're willing to leave the loan in place, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, 50K down. What is their mortgage?
I'd be curious too as far as like, well, whose loan is it in? Is it the or I guess it doesn't matter as far as the husband's name or the wife's name or both, but
it's probably both.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Utah. So we got 50K down. How much work needs to be done?
0. Yeah, it's all built out. It's kind of a weird layout too in a cul-de-sac. But yeah, it's all done. Like full. There's nothing that needs to be done to it.
What's our monthly payment?
The PITI is 17. Just call it 1,800.
Monthly payment. Interest rate is what? 2.3?
2.75, I believe it was.
Which is dope as fuck. That's
yeah.
What do we think we can rent it out at?
Airbnb wise, at least profit at least $2,500 a month on it.
Profit $2,500 a month, or what's our gross?
Gross, yeah, gross about $2,500 at least.
Did you talk to Lame about that?
No, I haven't talked to Lama about it yet.
That sounds really low for an Airbnb.
Excuse me, 3,500. 3,500. Or even more. Depending on, because I don't have any properties in Lehigh at all. So
I would reach out to Lame. I mean, that still sounds kind of low. All right, have you used like AirDNA or anything to look at it?
Mm-mm.
So what you need to do, get on AirDNA. Where can I erase to make some room? So we need to get on AirDNA, and I need to know average nights. So right, so I want to know the average night, and then we'll just do it like full 20 nights a month. Right, and we'll pull up some comps on that while we're going over the rest of this stuff on your computer. Because that'll let us actually know what that gross is, because I want to see what the cash flow would be. Because this right here is a banger. Right, so I'm like, oh yeah, I want that. This 50K is kind of high. And generally when we have to take in our furnishing costs. How big is the house?
1,500 square feet.
Oh, so it's kind of small. So what me and Kyle do is we go, where can I make some room for this? We're just going to have to erase some of this. So we have our 50K down, right? So I've got down of 50. Then I want to make 10 to 15K when I buy it. So let's just put 15K. 20K furnish. So we can say we're all in, I think, at 85K. Is what I'm looking at. So I'm all in at 85K to get into the deal. Really make it 90 because I'll have a couple months of holding costs. Yeah, let's call it like 93,000 because I'll have holding costs and closing costs essentially. So I'm all in at $93,000, and we could do it a couple different ways. Let me pull up my computer real quick. The way me and Kyle usually do it is we will go and we will put a second position mortgage on the house with a private money lender, or we'll partner with a private money lender. Because if I go, let's say $93,000 at 10%, amortized over 30 years, and just a second position loan, I'd say, hey, I'm going to give you an 8 to 10% return on your money. Let's say you give just a random investor, a private investor, they're getting about $750 a month. So they're at $750 a month plus our $1,800. What's that math, dude? I don't know.
You said what? 1,800 plus
$750.
That comes out to $2,550.
So we're at $2,550. So we can say, just conservatively in rough numbers, we're all in at $3K a month. Nut. Because we have, let's just say, $500 taxes and insurance as well. Or is that
the PITI?
Is this PITI right here?
Yep, yeah, that's all included.
We're gonna have to get another insurance, right? So let's just say instead of 3,500, we'll make it like 3,200, which not that. I want to move that to 2,700. So I'm at $2,700 a month, right? With that, that's with me. When I buy the deal, I pay myself $15,000, and then I have my closing costs, my holding costs, and my down payment, and that's about $93,000 to get into it, which is
Mm.
I mean, it's kind of a high entry fee. That 50K is what
Yeah.
keeps it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, what if I had a renter in there immediately versus having to hold it for X amount of
I mean, you're still gonna
days?
have to furnish it and stuff. And if
Right.
you're already getting coaching for Airbnb, you might as well use it. You know what I mean? And I mean, based on what Lame, bro, some of his stuff, he makes an absolute killing.
Mm.
Night per night.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, because I was looking at the comps here in Lehigh, it'd probably be like, yeah. I mean, for right now, it looks like anywhere from like 111 is the base. As far as they'll call it $100 a night, if that,
what is that? $2,000?
3. Or I just do it times 30, but yeah, you do it times 28, which is a February.
20. Like me and Kyle do an anticipated 20% occupancy.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Times 20, yeah.
And so,
yeah, that's about 2, yeah.
Right, so that's 2. But that makes it hard, right? Because now I'm taking an L. This is bigger than my 2K rent.
Mm.
So what I would do next is I would say, hey, Kyle, or Lame, I'm thinking about buying this. I need help with my Airbnb numbers in this area. Really, Lame would know. Right? Because if Lame knows, and now you can say, because we're negotiating one right now where we had to go down on the down payment, because essentially this big ass entry fee made it not pencil. The other way you could do it is you bring in someone as a partner,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just get half of the cash flow. That takes away the 750, right? So, and now we're still at, it was 1800. Let's call it 2200. But then that's still like a break even.
Mm-hmm. I guess as a long-term play too, what would it look like as a long-term play?
I don't know, what does Zillow say?
What was that?
What does Zillow say?
What do you mean as far as
like what the rents are?
The rental?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like 2,500. I mean, yeah, 2,500. Yeah, 2,500 in this area specifically, Lehigh.
So you need
For what
to
it's
dig
at,
more into your Airbnb numbers, because there's no way that it's renting regularly for more than it would Airbnb out for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, just odds of that are very, very low. So you got to go back. We really got to dial in our Airbnb numbers and see what that answer is. Or our next answer would be, okay, we're all in at, let's say, I think we said $2,300 a month, and then we could sell it again. So let's say we're all in at 2,300. We're all in at 3K, either or. Next thing we could do, let's say, like, you know what, we're gonna sell this on a wrap at fucking 500K. At 9% interest and you could get the investor some of their money back. Even if you you could go 10 to 20% down, and especially in that area, people are probably going to have it, but you'll have to anticipate holding it for 6 months. All right, because this is what we could wrap it. And in that area, there's going to be more affluent people. Right, but if I'm at 500K at 9%, let's say if they put 15% down, at 9%. So now I go over to my handy dandy amortization calculator. Where is that bad boy? Now, 1 minute. Because now what I'm looking at is what's the spread I can make. So that would be $75K down. So we got a $425 loan at 9% now. Which still isn't awesome, if you want me to be real. Because now, that's like $400 a month in cash flow, which isn't awful. Because at 500K, 15%, 75K down, loan of 425K. Now that at 9% is 3419. Is what I'm looking at for my, if I wrapped it.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't like a home run. If we make that investor a partner, it is. But if we just put a second on it and then we wrap it and make that person a third, which is kind of messy, that's not the best. Right? Because, I mean, then, well, you're still cash flowing $400. But then what the fuck is my yield on, well, that would only be about. What I would do is I would use my down payment of that 75K to pay off as much of this as possible. And then we can shrink this down.
Right.
Right, so now, a minute. Now I only have a mortgage of 18 and at a second position. That's only $144 a month. So now I got the 18%. Well, 18K. What's that number? 144. Now you don't have some massive monkey on your back. Sorry, not 144K. 0.00. Let's say we're at that. Now we're at 2,500. That's still $1,000, almost $1,000 for the cash flow. Because now we're at 24. 44. Let's call it that. And then I can rent it out still, who I can sell it on that wrap at 34.19. And then I'm making that spread, which is like true $900 in cash flow because it's a wrap.
Yeah, I like that.
Which isn't bad, but you have to anticipate that you'll be sitting on this for at least 6 months. Right? Because with these wraps, we have to think, all right, how many people who can't qualify for a loan are going to come to the table with 75K down?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll see this interest rate and we'll be happy with it. Would be the next thing. But that would be the other way it would work. Then the next thing I look at is like, okay, because that's a good return off the $18,000, I'm not going to lie. What's 900 times 12?
900 times 12. 10,800.
I mean, you could low-key pay him off in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could really pay him off in 2 years, get him off your back. And then now you're just the bank. But it would really be your confidence in the area that you can get this. And the only thing that scares me is me and Kyle, we did one. I mean, this was in a shitty part of the east side. And we're like, yeah, bro, this bitch is going to sell like hotcakes. The market's on fire. And we ended up sitting on that thing for 4 fucking months.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't bad. But then we have to take into consideration this. But at the same time, Lehigh's on the up and up. You have the Silicon Slopes. And you're making an awesome spread right here.
Mm-hmm.
But then So the only reason I don't like those is because I don't get the depreciation, right? Because they own the house, we don't.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, I was even looking at it as a LTR, like long term, and just having that in a portfolio as far as a nice little gem.
Yeah, and with a property like that, right? With where just me knowing where you're at, you don't want to buy something that's a alligator per se, or something that's like costing you money every month, even though it's a great asset, just because you're not there in life yet.
Oh, I got you.
I mean, yeah, you'll get the depreciation, you'll get the appreciation, which is what you do in Salt Lake. But I don't really ever want to buy something that's going to cost me money every month, because that's how a lot of people get put under.
What do you think about a cash out refi? About like 5, 6, 7. I mean, I guess the interest rates already kill it too.
Oh yeah, it does have a 10-year balloon, huh?
I was even thinking about, or he was maybe even thinking about being a little bit more flexible with that. So I guess his situation is they're just going to move, or the husband's just going to move to Arizona.
I mean, why do they want a balloon? If it's sub 2, bro, I want the mortgage for the rest of time.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I have it, I have it. I'm not going to do a balloon. Is what I would say. Like,
I agree.
My goal is to keep this for 30 years. I'm like, why? And I'm like, well, because I have that 2.39% interest rate or whatever.
Right.
I'm not going to do any type of balloon, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no. Like, I'm not giving it up. Like, I just make that a non-negotiable. But the one thing you need to figure out is your nightly rates. What can you do there? I would say it's non-negotiable balloon. And then I'd press on that down payment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go a wrap even, so yeah, if we go a wrap, you really don't need any of the 20K right there, just because it's that's a furnishing cost. So I really would just want the 10 to 15 for me to make money, to be happy. But if you went out on me like, hey, I can do 40K down, and then you pay yourself 15, that's 55.
Yeah, I mean, I believe I can even talk them down on the purchase price too. Try to get them down to that 400 range.
Well, and so that's the other thing. So if they want to wrap their sub 2 and keep getting paid on it.
Yeah.
How much? So was that 1,800 what they wanted and their mortgage together?
That was just the straight up PITI.
That they're paying.
That was everything. Every month. Yeah, that they're paying every month, right, out of their pocket. Like that's their bottom line.
Yeah, so we broke this down honestly the wrong way. So with them, I would ask them like, well, how much do you want a month? Right? Because.
Well, that's how we came up with the 2,300 number. Excuse me, because then they wanted that equity. So I guess yeah. So they wanted that 500 equity, which essentially you do that number over the excuse me, 40 grand, but then it was just 500 in payments. So that's how he came up with that number, and it was 500 plus the PITI.
So 2,300. They want 50K down. That's 500. 1,800. 440. Okay, purchase. How much do they owe? 330.
Yeah, 330.
So 110. And so they both want $250 a month.
Well, I don't know however way they want. I just know they want 25 a piece. Like whatever that down payment is, it sounds like they're splitting it right down the middle.
So the thing,
as far as their share,
the thing you can't do, right? So I mean, because like it's a different type of thing, right? Because if we're buying it sub 2, that's one thing. If we're buying it sub 2 and we're wrapping it,
and equity,
that's another thing, right? It's that $500 a month to go to what was it, 110K loan. I mean, shit, that's still not bad. So that 110, right, that they have at $500 a month, amortized over 30 years, that's a 4% interest rate, and we're what is it, 2.79? What's the average of that? 3 something. 4 plus
right?
4 plus 2.79. So that's still a really low interest rate. I don't know. That still makes sense. I'd push back on the down, and I'd push back on that. See if you can push back on that overall purchase, because it's probably not even worth that.
Yeah. I mean, I think getting it down to 400 would be pretty reasonable. But from the sounds of it earlier this afternoon, it seemed like he was just like, or maybe I just caught him at a good time of the day where he was just open to everything. He's like, yeah, it just kind of sounded like he was just ready to get it off his shoulders. So I guess that's another thing I can play with is the urgency on the condition that they're in, that the couple's in.
That raises the interest rate a little bit. I would go instead of $500 a month, I'd give them $300 a month, make it $2,100. So then we got $2,100. My blended interest rate is still like a 2.85%, which is dope. So now we're at like a 2.85. And this really isn't that big of a deal. I'm probably getting caught up on semantics because we just care about that monthly payment.
Right.
How would I do this? Yeah, I'd say you knock off that. We're at 400, and then we go from 50 to 40. So you're at 400, give them 40 down. Then with that 40 down, you only have a 60K note, which is pretty good to them. And you just tell them no balloon. And now we have our 330, a 60. Move on. It's the best way I can make it make sense in my head. And there's the other one. But then if we wrap it, they're in third position, right? So then we'd sell it. And this is hypothetical because I don't know what that market looks like right now. But that's what would make the most sense.
I see.
So this is first position. This is the bank. This is second. This is them. Oh, damn. If we get a private money, well. And then we have third. Yeah, bro, I'd go in and take off 400 off the top and go in for that 40K down. And then we need to figure out, this would probably be the best option. I always think this is the best option.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah. Excuse me. I think that the DNR, yeah, at least 3,500 at least. I know I see for sure it'd be cash flow like crazy.
go through these comments real quick. Jay Myler said Tristan's the homie, late night streams.
Oh, sanitation.
Just sold a property listed at $495 in August. We ended up getting under contract for over $100K under asking. That sounds about right.
What was that?
A dude had a property in August that he got under contract $100,000 cheaper than what he thought. Yeah, bro. So let's do this. You need to go talk to Alame tomorrow, and let's figure out what the actual like average night is. Because to me, I still feel like your numbers are super conservative, and I'm not an Airbnb like master. But whenever we're looking at something Airbnb wise, I just hey Kyle, what do you see here? And he'll give me a number because we look at it in Fresno, and he knows like the back of his hand, right? And so I can essentially create the deal from there.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'll give it Lumley. See what he's up to.
See what he's up to.
I know he just did a killer deal in Urban's that he was posting. Dope.
Yeah, he just did a really good deal in Urban's. But if you could go now, I'm into it for. So what is that? So let's say I give them 40, pay myself 15, cost me 20. I'm all in 75. Let's call it 85.
Appreciate that, J-Dog.
I mean, that still might not be bad. Your money may be better put to work somewhere else. And the biggest thing that I'm being told from people who I trust is that like these like bigger down payments are kind of gonna go away. Oh shit, my neighbor's out there fighting.
You're gonna have to go away?
Essentially people are just gonna lose the leverage to even think that
they're gonna have to go away?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, like they're just not. Yeah, bro. Give it a Lame as far as the Airbnb number.
Okay, for sure.
Because now we know. So 85K with that. I'll do the math on that real quick. Oh man, I don't touch my computer for so long the camera goes off. You can do it one of two ways. It might be better for you to do the Lame way and give them a return, like crazy returns. Because off of that, 85K, let's just say I'm looking at 700. So I'm at my 700. Then I have my 700, and then we were going to give them what, 300? And I still have my 1,800. So what is that? That's $3,000. So go into it knowing that you're going to be probably all in at just a $3,000 monthly mortgage, and then you need to work those Airbnb numbers with Lame backwards from there. Because if you're at a $3,000 mortgage and that motherfucker is confident with $3,000 mortgages, like we broke down a couple when he was out here for the event, and he was like doing them all day in South Jordan. Because he was like, bro, I can pull in like 7 to 10 top line off of that. So if that's the case, bro, imagine if you're here, you have another like $2,000, you're all in at 5, and this is again hypothetical. You're in at 5. I mean, you take in 7. I mean, if you're at 2K net, that's a pretty good deal. And that's with paying your investor fucking 9% on their money year over year.
Right. For sure.
And you may not even need to do that. You could, instead of just putting a monkey on your back, just make that person a partner for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think the equity share.
That's what me and Kyle are probably going to do on one of ours. We're waiting to hear back, but it's semi-similar, but it's all owner finance. It would be $60K down with similar numbers, like 60. So ours is like 60 with
Is this a storage deal?
No, this is a house that we're buying, like an owner finance house that we're buying. So it'd be like 60K down, 10K to us just to make money when we buy the deal. 4K in holding cost, and then 30K in furnishings. And this was like I think that's kind of where we're at. And that was like pushing us to our limit. Because that puts us at 90, 100, 104, essentially. And that 104 is, I mean, $104,000 to put into a deal is a lot of money, in my opinion, unless it's like a big deal.
Yeah, right. I agree.
All right, bro. Hit me up tomorrow, but you need to get with Lame and know that, what did we say? We said our monthly mortgage is $3K. So tell Lame your monthly mortgage is $3K and then work back Airbnb numbers from there. And he can give you actual confidence in the area because I'm not going to be able to give you any type of confidence.
Copy. Hell yeah, brother. Well, I appreciate the feedback. Thanks, Stratt. Appreciate your time, dog.
Got you, Brody. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother.